Hello, students. I hope you all are fine and learning the things that we are giving you through online classes. Children, in the previous video, we have started the lesson Homesickness written by Roald Dahl. In that, we have learnt about the author and summary of the lesson. Now, today, I am going to read the chapter and along with its explanation for you so that you can understand how beautifully the author has picturized the feeling of his homesickness and the symptoms of the disease that was not there in his body at all. Now, let's begin the chapter. I was homesick during the whole of my first term at St. Peter's. Homesickness is a bit like seasickness. You don't know how awful it is till you get it. And when you do, it hits you right in the top of the stomach and you want to die. The only comfort is that both homesickness and seasickness are instantly curable. The first goes away the moment you walk out of the school grounds, and the second is forgotten as soon as the ship enters port. Now, see, children, here the author has talked about his homesickness and he had compared the homesickness with seasickness. Now see the meaning of seasickness, a feeling that you want to vomit because of constant movement of the ship. Okay, so what is the meaning of seasickness? A constant feeling of vomiting. Okay, some type of nausea, we can say that. Because of the movement, like some of the people, they have fear when they travel by bus. That is also a type of sickness. Now here, what the author wanted to tell us, that I was homesick during the whole of my first term at St. Peter's. The author was sent to a boarding school at St. Peter's, and there he was missing his home very badly. And anyhow, he wanted to go back to his home. And that's why he had planned something that we will see in the second paragraph. Okay. Now, you don't know how awful it is when you get it and when you do. It hits you right in the top of the stomach. You want to die. Like whenever we travel by sea or by ship on the sea, then we feel very bad. We have pain in our stomach. We feel vomiting as if we will die. In the same way, whenever someone is out of their house, then they miss their house very badly, as if without the house they will not alive. The only comfort is that both homesickness and seasickness are instantly curable. Only one thing is good for the homesickness and seasickness, and that is both of these problems are curable. Now, how the seasickness can be cured? Whenever someone enters the port, then he will be free from the seasickness. In the same way, if someone will come out from the school ground, then he will be relieved from his homesickness. Second paragraph. I was so terribly homesick during my first 2 weeks that I set about making a plan for getting myself sent back home. Even if it were for only a few days, my idea was that I should all of a sudden develop an attack of acute appendicitis. Now, as the author was terribly homesick within the few weeks during the first 2 weeks. So he made a plan. Now, what was his plan? He made an idea that he will develop an attack of acute appendicitis so that he can send back home. You will probably think it silly that a 9-year-old boy imagined that he could get away with a trick like that. But I had sound reason for trying it. Now here author wanted to tell us that you must be surprised that how such a young boy, only 9 years old boy, can imagine about appendicitis. How is it possible? Because the boy was such an age that even he doesn't know that what is the meaning of appendicitis. Now you just imagine yourself, children, many of us do not know the meaning that what is appendicitis. And that time the boy was only 9 years old. So how could that boy understand the meaning of appendicitis? But there was a sound reason. There was a perfect reason for getting appendicitis. And what was the reason? Only a month before, my elder sister had actually had appendicitis. And for several days before her operation, I was able to observe her behavior at close quarters. Now, here the author just wanted to tell us that definitely it must be surprise for you all that how I know about the appendicitis. But I have a reason for this, and the reason is because I have observed my own sister very minutely. Okay, I have observed my sister from a short distance because she had an appendicitis, and I saw her pain. I noticed that the thing she complained about most was severe pain down in the lower right side of her tummy. As well as this, she kept being sick and refused to eat and ran a temperature. So, I know the symptoms of the appendicitis very well because I had seen my own sister suffering from the appendicitis. And what were the symptoms? The symptoms were she had a pain, heavy pain, severe pain in the lower right side of her tummy. And she was not able to eat anything. And she was suffering from a temperature. That's why if I will make a plan of getting appendicitis, then I can have that plan. You might, by the way, be interested to know that this sister had her appendix removed not in a fine hospital operating room full of bright lights and gowned nurses, but on our own nursery table at home by the local doctor and his anesthetist. In those days, it was fairly common practice for a doctor to arrive at your house with a bag of instruments, then drape a clean sheet over the most convenient table and get on with it. Now see here. In those days, there were no very big hospitals, and even hospitals were not well furnished. So, what had happened in those days? The doctors who come with their bags and then they do the operation at the patient's house only. So here, author wanted to tell us that you might by the way be interested to know that this sister had her appendix removed not in the very furnished hospital, but her operation was done on my own home, on the normal table by a local doctor and his anesthetist. Because in those days, it was fairly common practice for the doctors to arrive at your house with a bag of instruments. In those days, doctors used to come to the patient's house and then they did all the operations at their houses only. On this occasion, I can remember lurking in the corridor outside the nursery while the operation was going on. My other sisters were with me and we stood there spellbound, listening to the soft medical murmurs coming from behind the locked door and picturing the patient with her stomach sliced open. We could even smell the sickly fumes of ether filtering through the crack under the door. Now, on this occasion, I can remember the lurking. Now see, the meaning of lurking is waiting quietly and secretly. I can remember that I was in the corridor outside the nursery where the operation was going on. That is, outside the operation room, in the corridor, I was standing very quietly. And along with me, my other sisters were also there. And we stood there spellbound. Spellbound means fascinated. We stood there and we were listening the soft medical murmurs coming from behind the locked door. We were listening the sound of the medical instruments. Even we were smelling the fumes of ether. Now children, the meaning of fumes of ether is strong smell of ether. It is a kind of gas used earlier as an anesthetic that made the speaker feel uncomfortable. So it is a gas by which we can give anesthesia to someone. So what is the meaning here? That author was standing in the corridor outside the operation room and along with the author, his sisters were also there. They were listening the music, they were listening the sound of the medical instruments. They were smelling the smell of the fumes of the ether through the door. The next day, we were allowed to inspect the appendix itself in a glass bottle. It was a longish black wormy looking thing and I said, "Do I have one of those inside me, Nanny?" "Everybody has one," Nanny answered. "What's it for?" I asked her. "God works in his mysterious ways," she said, which was her stock reply whenever she did not know the answer. Okay, now today we'll read till paragraph 9. In the next video, I'll explain you the next portion. Till then, you take care, children. Bye.